Hello, sports fans and football fans. I'm here with another football game from Strat-O-Matic. This will be using the basic game as always. I have several other games up on the site if you want to go check those out if you haven't seen them yet. But what I've been doing basically is playing divisional matchups from 2020, and this similarly will be another of those. It will be the Pittsburgh Steelers of 2020 going up against the Baltimore Ravens, everybody's favorite Baltimore Ravens. That was sarcasm. But anyway, we will be playing that game. We are in Pittsburgh. The Steelers will be kicking off to the Ravens to begin the game. That is a 3 on the kickoff card, which is a touchback. So the ball will come out to the 25 for the Ravens, 1st and 10. And I'm not sure if that should be, if there's, I was told and I have seen firsthand also that the ruling is different depending on whether it's an actual touchback or whether the ball bounces in the end zone or something like that. But anyway, I'm going to put every ball at the 25 that comes close to a touchback or the team wants to play as a touchback. So we are not going to use the 20 or the 20 and the 25. It's just going to be the 25. So with that having been said, the Ravens have a 1st and 10, and we will start the clock. Did it start? There it goes. All right, and as a reminder, the clock will stop on kicks if I remember to do that. But right now, they will be doing an end run with their halfback. And to go over the offense really quickly for Baltimore, Lamar Jackson's at quarterback. The running backs are J.K. Dobbins and Gus Edwards. And the tight end is, of course, the great Mark Andrews, very good tight end. And then at split end, you have Marquise Brown, and at a flanker, you will have Willie Snead IV. But this will be J.K. Dobbins on an end run. And they are looking for the pass. There is no penalty, and it is a 9 end run on Dobbins' card, which is a short gain. And that is a 6, which I believe is 16 yards. Let me just double check that. It is indeed 16 yards. So they get a 16-yard run on 1st down. They don't see any reason to deviate from that, and so they're going to end run Dobbins again. And the Steelers are looking for the pass again. And that is a 6, but there's an offensive penalty, possible offensive penalty. It would be another short gain, but let's see if there's an offensive penalty on the Ravens. It is an 8, and that is not. So we are going to check that, and actually I know that that is 17 yards. So 4, and then 15, that's 19, back it off, 2, and that's a 17-yard gain. So they're getting some good, really good plays here coming right out of the gate. They're going to go flat to the tight end, Mark Andrews, on 2nd down, or on 1st and 10. They are looking for the pass, and that is an 8 flat pass, which is receiver, and that is Andrews. With them looking for it, Andrews does not catch it because they were looking for it. So they're going to go back to the end run, which worked really great coming out of the gates, but didn't want to do it 3 times in a row. But this time they're looking for the run, and that is a 4. End run 4. That's still a double short gain, and J.K. Dobbins is running all over this Pittsburgh defense. 7 is 15 yards, so 2, 10, 3. And all the yards that they've got so far have been running the ball, even though they have Lamar Jackson, who was very good in 2020. In fact, in 2020, he had a 64.4 completion percentage for 26 touchdowns and only a 2.4 interception percentage. So they're going to go right from, you know what, from here, they're going to go short to the split end. And they are looking for the run. And that is a 7 on the Pittsburgh defense for short pass is incomplete. So of course they're going to go back to J.K. Dobbins on an end run, and that is a 19. They're looking for the run. That is a 10, and that's -5, and that's the first time Dobbins has run into any kind of trouble. And so now it is 3rd and 15. And they're going to go short to the tight end, Andrews. And they're looking for the pass. And that is a 4 long or short pass 4 on the Pittsburgh defense is intercepted 2-5. And it is. It's intercepted 12 yards down the field. So 2 and then 10, and then you roll for the interception return, and that's a 6, and that is 12 yards, so it puts it right back where it came from. And now it's going to be 1st and 10 for the Steelers at the 30-yard line. And they themselves are going to try and end run it. They're seeing how well it works for Baltimore. They're going to try it. Baltimore is looking for the pass. That is a 12. End run 12 is, let's see, it's only 2 yards. So that was Snell on that. Benny Snell. To go over the Pittsburgh offense, you have, of course, Big Ben Roethlisberger at quarterback. At tight end, you will have Eric Ebron. At split end, you have Deontay Johnson. At flanker, you have Juju Smith-Schuster. At flanker, you have Chase Claypool. And the running backs, one of them you just saw get 2 yards was Benny Snell, and the other is James Conner. And so now they will do a flat pass to the tight end on 2nd and 8. And they are looking for the pass. That is an 11 with a possible offensive penalty. It's a possible interception. Oh, wait a minute. No, it isn't. It's on the defense card. So flat pass. 11 is incomplete, but let's see if there is an offensive penalty on Pittsburgh. That is a 5, and it is offsides, so that's going to be a 5-yard penalty, and they will replay the second down, but it's going to be 2nd and 13 now. And Big Ben is going to uncork one. He's going to go long to the flanker. Let's see what happens when they try to go long to the flanker. And I just lost my 20-sided die. All right, we're back, and they're looking for the run. No, they're looking for the pass. So it was long, and yeah, let me get the dice out. They're looking for the pass, and that is an 8 on Roethlisberger's long pass card, which is incomplete. So now it is 3rd and 13, and they're going to go. They're going to go short to the split end. Short to the split end. That's a 5. So they're looking for the pass. That is an 8 on short. Looking for it is incomplete, so the Steelers have to punt. And I'm going to let the time, while I was looking for the die, I was letting the play clock run, so I am going to not only kick, but run a couple of plays without the clock moving. And that is a 9 on the punt for Pittsburgh, which is 44 back 1. 3, 10, 20, 30, 40, and 1. And the kick return is a 7, which is on Pittsburgh's return card, which is 9 yards. And so the Ravens have it 1st and 10 at their 38, which is good field position for them. And they're going to go, of course, back to the end run with J.K. Dobbins, who's had a chance to rest on the bench. They're looking for the run now, and that is a 7, and that is going to be just 1 yard. So they got a 2nd and 9. They're going to go short to the split end. Short to the split. They're looking for the pass. That is a 4 with a possible offensive penalty. It's a must run with them looking for it. And let's see what he gets on the must run. He is very good. That is a 30-yard gain, but let's see if there was an offensive penalty first. 3. There is. It's number 4. So let's see. Run off, or wait a minute. Pass, offense 4, holding 10 yards from the original line of scrimmage. So that's going to wipe out a big play. And it's going to be a 2nd and let's see. So yeah, it's going to be a 2nd and 19. And now we will run the clock again. And they're going to go 2nd and 19. They're going to go end run with Dobbins. Or is it yeah, Dobbins. They're looking for the run, and that is a 6, and that's going to be -8 because they were looking for it. So now Dobbins is going into the red. Well, he's not quite there yet because he has had some good plays, but now they have a lot of yards to make up. They're going to go long to the split end, and they are looking for the pass, and that is an 8 long pass on the Baltimore defense, which is receiver. And they are going to the flanker, who is Willie Snead. And that is a 9, and that's incomplete. So they will have to punt, and we will stop the clock for the punt. And that is a 9. So that is 44 back 1, 2, 10, 20, 30, 40 and 2. Back number 1 returning. And that is a 9. That is a fair catch. So the Pittsburgh Steelers will take over 1st and 10 at their own 33-yard line, 33-yard line. And they're going to start off with an end run. We have no score here so far. 10 is looking for the pass. That is a 7 end run on the Baltimore defense, which is only 1 yard. So they've got a 2nd and 9. They're going to go flat to the tight end. And that is, we got to get the clock going again. They're looking for the run. And that is an 11 on Big Ben, which is going to be intercepted on 2. It is not intercepted, so it is incomplete. And it is 3rd and 9, and they're going to go long to the split end. And they're looking for the run, I believe. Let me see. Let me just make sure of that. 3rd and 5 to 9 is 1 to 4. Yep, they're looking for the run. And that is a 5 long pass on the Baltimore D, which is incomplete, and that means Pittsburgh has to punt. And that's an 8. So their punt is 46 back 1. 1, 10, 20, 30, 40, and 5. And returning it from there, back 1 is 6, which is fair catch. And so the Ravens have it 1st and 10 at their 20. We will start the clock again. And they will go off tackle, this time with Gus Edwards. On 1st down, they're looking for the run though. And that is an 8. Off tackle 8, which is 4 yards. Not a bad pickup, especially when they're looking for it. They're going to go line buck with J.K. Dobbins. And they are looking for the pass. And that is a 10. Line buck 10 on Pittsburgh's defense is 1 yard. So they have a 3rd and 5. And they're going to go end run with Dobbins. They're going to they're shaking it up here. They're going to try to catch him off guard. They did. They're looking for the pass. That is an 8 end run on the Pittsburgh defense, which is only 0 yards. It is only 0 yards, and so they will punt. And that is a 9 on their punt, which is 44 back 1, 10, 20, 30, 40, and 4. We are still in a scoreless game here between Baltimore and Pittsburgh, and that's a 5 on the return, which is a fair catch. So Pittsburgh has it 1st and 10 now at their 31, and there is only 3 minutes left in the 1st quarter. We will go, and if you will look, the quarter is right here, and the clock is right here, and obviously here's the score. This is the visiting team. This is the home team, 0-0. They're going to go short to the flanker on 1st down. The Steelers are. And they're looking for the pass, and that is a possible defensive penalty. And it's a 4 on short pass on Baltimore's D, which is intercepted 2-4. It is not intercepted, and let's see if it's a defensive penalty. It's a 5, and 5 is offside, so they're going to get a 5-yard 5-yard penalty, and it will be 1st and 5. They're going to go line buck with the fullback on 1st and 5. They're looking for the run, and that is a 10 with a possible defensive penalty. So Connor with a line buck gets 0 yards because they were looking for it. But let's see if there was a penalty on the Baltimore defense. Opponent offsides, so it's actually going to go back to a 1st and 10 again. Now they're going to go end run with the halfback. And that is, they are looking for the pass. That is a 10. End run 10 is 9 yards. And there was no penalty, so they have a 2nd and 1 now. And they're going to go flat to the tight end. Flat to the tight end. They're looking for the run. That is a 5 on the flat pass for Roethlisberger, which is 8 yards and a 1st down. And now they have a 1st and 10 at their own 48. And they will go end run with the halfback. On first down, they're looking for the pass. The possible defensive penalty and a 9 end run on Baltimore's D, which is 0. But let's see if there was a penalty on Baltimore. That is an 8. And that is nothing, so there was no penalty. And they will let the clock run down, and we will go to the second quarter with a 1st and 10 for Pittsburgh. Okay. Okay, 1st and 10 for Pittsburgh. They're going to go flat to the tight end. Flat to the tight end. They are looking for the run. That is a 7, and that's going to be 13 yards. 2, 10, and 1. Big pickup there on a flat pass. And they're going to go end run with a halfback. And they're looking for the run, and that is a 9 with a possible offensive penalty. Let's see. That's -7. And let's see if there was a penalty on them. 12, there isn't, so it's -7 yards. And they have a 2nd and 17. Now they're going to go short to the split end because they have to try to get some yards back here big time. They're looking for the pass. That is a 4. That's going to be an interception. Possible interception, 12 yards down, or 13 yards downfield, 2 to 4, which it is not. So it is going to be 3rd and 17. And now they're going to air it out long to the split end. And they're looking for the pass. That is a 9 with a possible offensive penalty. Long to 9 is incomplete. And let's see if they had a penalty. 5. They were offside, so now they have Baltimore has a decision to make, and they are going to. They're going to figure that it doesn't really matter whether you back them up 5 and they don't get whatever number of yards and don't get the first down. So they're going to kick, and they're going to force Pittsburgh to kick by not accepting the penalty. So that'll be a 7 on the punt, which is 47 back 1, and goes into the end zone. So the Ravens will take it on the 25. And it will be 1st and 10 for the Ravens at the 25-yard line. And they're going to put in an end run with J.K. Dobbins. It's worked well at times and not so well at others. They are looking for the pass. That is a 3. End run Dobbins 3, and that's 33 yards because they weren't looking for it. 10, 20, 30, and 3. He breaks off another great run. Dobbins is having a day for himself here. They're going to go flat to the tight end Andrews, one of the best tight ends in the league. They are looking for the pass. That is an 8. That is going to be to Andrews. And they are looking for the pass. It's a 7. And that's going to be 7 yards. So 7 yards. They have a 2nd and 3. They're going to go line buck with the fullback, and in this case, that's Gus Edwards. And they're looking for the run, and that's a 5. Line buck 5, possible fumble. They were looking for it, so it's a fumble, 2 to 4 or 12, 0 yards. It is not, but it is 0 yards. And so they have a 3rd and 3 coming up. And they're going to go flat to the tight end, Andrews. They are looking for, what is that? 3rd and 3. I don't know what they're looking for. 3rd and 3, they are looking for pass 1 to 12, so they're looking for the run. And that is an 8 flat pass on the Pittsburgh defense, which is receiver, and that is Andrews, and that is a 10. And when they're looking for it, it's incomplete. So they are, oh, wait a minute, they weren't looking for it. They were looking for the run, right? I believe they were. Yeah, they were looking for the run. So it is actually 14 yards. But it's a possible offensive penalty. Let's try and see if they get a penalty. 8. They don't. So it's going to be 14 yards. And now the Ravens have a scoring threat. First, or maybe second big threat of the game so far. They're going to go end run with Dobbins. They're looking for the run, though. And that's a 7 end run on the Pittsburgh defense, which only gets them a yard. 2nd and 9, they're going to go line buck with the fullback, Gus Edwards. They are looking for, I believe, the pass. No, they are not. They're looking for the run. They're still looking for the run. And that's a 9. Line buck, what was that? Line buck. 9 is 6 yards. That's pretty good. So they have a 3rd and 3, another 3rd and 3. They're going to go short to the split end. Short to the split end on 3rd and 3. 1 to 12, so they are looking for the pass. That is a 7. 7 short on the Pittsburgh defense is incomplete. And they have a decision to make here, 4th and 3, and they're going to kick the field goal. And a field goal from the 9-yard line is, and they have one of the best kickers in the league, of course, the Ravens do. 2 to 11 good. And it is good. So the Ravens get themselves 3 points. And with 9 minutes left in the first half, we have our first score of the game. The Ravens will kick off. It's a 5. It's -8 in the end zone, back number 2. And Pittsburgh will, of course, now Pittsburgh would be going this way. I should have switched it before, but, you know, I didn't. But anyway, they're going to take it for the touchback on the 25. First and 10 at the 25. Now Pittsburgh is down by 3-0. They're going to go end run with the halfback. It's still a very close game, so they're not going to abandon the run. And they are looking for the pass. And that is a 10 on the end run for Snell. It's 9 yards. So they have a 2nd and 1. They're going to go flat to their tight end on 2nd and 1. They're looking for the pass. That is a 9 with a possible offensive penalty. Flat pass 9 is receiver. And that's a 3. So look at the tight end. 3 on flat pass. When they are looking for it is -2. But let's see if there was a penalty on them. 2 offsetting penalties. So they're going to replay the down, 2nd and 1 again. This time they're going to go end run with the halfback. They are looking for, let's see, 2nd and, 1 is 7 pass, so they're looking for the run. And that is a 3 with a possible offensive penalty. End run on the halfback is 4 yards. But let's see if there's an offensive penalty. 6 is no. So they get 4 yards and they get the first down. So it's 1st and 10 for Pittsburgh at their, right now, 38-yard line. And they're going to go end run with the other back. End run with Connor on 1st and 10. And they are looking for the pass. Baltimore is, and that's an 11 with a possible defensive penalty. 11 is a short gain. Let's see if there was a penalty on Baltimore. There isn't, so the short gain is going to stand, and that's going to be 19 yards. 2, 15, 17, 19. So big gainer for Pittsburgh on the run by Connor, and that gets him down to the Baltimore 43-yard line. And they're going to go short to the split end. On 1st and 10, they are looking for the pass. Possible offensive penalty, and it's an 8. Short pass 8 on Roethlisberger. When they're looking for it is incomplete. Let's see if there was a penalty on Pittsburgh. 7. Opponent number 4. So it's actually going to be on Baltimore. Switches back to Baltimore for the penalty. And let's see, what was that? It was a short pass, so all pass attempts, defense 4. It was incomplete, so defensive pass interference, 15 yards. So the Baltimore defense helping Pittsburgh out a little here. 3, 10, 2, and they have a 1st and 10 at the Baltimore 28-yard line, and now they're in field goal range and plenty of time, so they're going to go end run with the halfback. They are looking for the pass, and that is a 10. End run Benny Snell 10 is 9 yards, so he gets 9 again like he did just a little while ago, and that brings up 2nd and 1. They're going to go line buck with Connor this time. And they're looking for the pass. Got to think, there's a possible defensive penalty and a possible fumble. 5, what is that? Line buck 5. Fumble -1, 2 to 4, or 12. It is not a fumble. It is -1. But let's see if there was a penalty on the defense. And it is offsides. And that's going to be, instead, that is going to be a first down. So now Pittsburgh has a 1st and 10 from the 13, and they're going to go short to the split end. They're going to try to get the touchdown right now. And the Ravens are looking for the pass. That is a 3 with a possible offensive penalty. That's going to be incomplete. And let's see if there was a penalty on Pittsburgh. 9, opponent offsides. So that's going to be 5 yards, and it's going to be 1st and 5 from there. And they are going to go end run with Connor. And they are looking for the pass. That is an 8. So end run Connor 8 is 5 yards, and that takes them to a first down, and now they got a 1st and goal at the 3. They're going to go line buck with Snell. Line buck with Snell. They're looking for the run. That is a 9. Line buck Snell 9 is 1 yard. They have a 2nd goal from the 2. They're going to go line buck with Connor on 2nd and goal, and they're looking for the run, and that is a 6. line buck on the Baltimore defense. And that is 5 yards and a touchdown. And let's see if Pittsburgh makes the extra point. It's 2-10 on their extra point. They don't make it, so they only get 6 points for that touchdown. Oh, wait a minute. Wrong team. Okay, so 6 for Pittsburgh. And with 2:38 left in the half, it's 6-3 Pittsburgh. And they will kick off. 7, the kickoff is to the 2, number 2. So the Ravens returning from the 2. On a kickoff, that's 3. Let's see if that's something bad. It isn't. It's 33 yards. So they get out to the 35. 35, 1st and 10 for the Baltimore Ravens. And they're going to go end run with Dobbins. They've been running Dobbins all day, running him ragged, and they are looking for the pass. And as a 3, that's going to be a short gain on the Pittsburgh defense. And that is a 9. 9 short gain is 13 yards. 10, 13, and Dobbins continues to run this Pittsburgh defense ragged. And they are going to go end run with Dobbins again with the 2-minute warning approaching. And that is a 10 with a possible offensive penalty, but they're looking for the run. 10 is -5, but let's see if there was a penalty, and it's an 8. And we're going to stop the clock right there because it's a 2-minute warning. I want to stop it. 8 on the penalty is nothing, so he lost 5 yards, and that was it. Time won't move on this play because it's the 2-minute warning play. They're going to go short to the split end because they got to make some yards up. They're looking for the pass. That is an 8. Short pass 8 is incomplete. Or wait a minute, no, it's on the Pittsburgh defense. It's actually -9. It's even worse, -9. So there is now a 3rd and forever basically coming up. They're going to go long to the flanker. The clock will start again. Long to the flanker. They're looking for the pass. Easy. It was a 3. And it's a double long gain. And that's a 9. Long gain 9 is 45 yards. That's a big play for Baltimore right there. 1, 10, 20, 30, 40, and 4. And they got a 1st and 10 at the 21. And they're going to go short to the split end. They're not going to mess around here. Pittsburgh looking for the pass. That is a 7. That's going to be a must run. And of course, you know, this is Lamar Jackson, so he's good at that. But right there, he only gets 1 yard. So it's going to be a 2nd and 8. And they're going to call their first time out. Or 2nd and... what did he get? 2nd and 9. It's going to be 2nd and 9. They're going to go end run with Dobbins because they've got the timeouts. And they're looking for the pass. Possible offensive penalty and a 6. That would be a short gain, but let's see if there's a penalty on the team. There is, number 3. So that's a run, number 3 penalty. Holding 10 yards from the line of scrimmage. So they have a 1st and 19. Or is it I think it's 2nd and 19. 2nd and 19. They're going to go long to the flanker. And they're going to call their 2nd timeout. They're looking for the pass. That is a 2. And that's going to be 28 yards, and that's going to put it almost to a touchdown. Not quite, though. They're at the 31, so it's going to be down to the 3-yard line. First and goal for the Ravens at the 3, and they're going to call their last timeout, and they're going to go end run with Dobbins. You would think they know what's coming, but they don't. It's a pass. They're looking for the pass, and it's a 4 end run Dobbins. And that's a short gain. It's going to be a touchdown, but it's a possible defensive penalty, although you got to think they're going to refuse it, whatever it is. It is a number 2, though. It is on them. And it was a run defense 2, which is a personal foul 15 yards from the line of scrimmage. That will be assessed on the kickoff. But for right now, that is a touchdown, and we're going to see the extra point. You would think it's good, but no, he misses on 12, and he did not miss. So Baltimore they up their game. It's 10-6, and the kickoff is a 10, which is to the 4, number 1. And they're back, their returning guy. 4 is 26 yards, so it's out to the 30, but there was a 15-yard penalty which will knock it back to the 15. So it's going to be 1st and 10 for Pittsburgh at their own 15-yard line. And they're just going to be content to go into halftime. And they're going to go end run with the halfback. They aren't going to call their timeouts, even though they could. They're looking for the pass. That's a 9 with a possible defensive penalty. And that is a 4-yard gain. And let's see if there was a penalty on them. 6 on Baltimore. There isn't. And they will go off tackle with the other running back, Connor. And they are looking for the pass. That is an 11 off tackle for Connor. 11 is a short gain. And that is a 5, which is going to be, let's see. Short gain 5 is 17 yards. 1, 15, 16, and that is going to be just about it. That's all the time we've got for the first half, and the first half ends with the score: Baltimore 10, Pittsburgh 6. Well, hello. We're back for the second half of the Steelers against the Ravens, and as you can see, the Ravens are leading 10-6 as we start the third quarter. The Ravens took the opening kickoff, so the Steelers will get the second half opening kickoff, and that is a 6. That is -1 in the end zone, number 1 back. The Steelers will run it out since it was only 1 yard deep. And that is a 6, which is 22 yards, which is going to bring the ball out to the 21-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Steelers at their 21. And now we will start the clock. And the Steelers will come out with an end run halfback, and that's going to be, in this particular case, James Conner. And again, I mean, I'm going to waffle back and forth what I term these guys, whether they're a halfback or a halfback fullback, or I'm just going to say who's running the ball, and in this case, it's going to be James Conner. The Ravens are looking for the pass from the Steelers, and that is a 7 end run on the Baltimore defense, which is going to be 1 yard. So it's 2nd and 9. They're going to go off tackle, this time with Benny Snell. And the Ravens are looking for the run. And that is a 6 off tackle on the off tackle defense for the Ravens is 3 yards. Right. So they have a 3rd and 4, or a third and 6. 3rd and 6, they're going to go flat to the tight end. And they are looking, let me see, I don't know what they're looking for there. 3rd and 5 to 9, 1 to 14. They are looking for the pass. And that is a 5, flat pass 5. Looking for it is 4 yards. 1, 2, 3, 4. And they have a 4th and 2. And Tomlin is not going to go for that. He is going to punt. And that's a 7. I'm going to stop it on the punt. That is a 7 on the punt, which is 47 back 1. So 1, 10, 20, 30, 40. 6. And the return is a 9. And that's punt return 9 is a fair catch. So, where is there it is. So the Ravens have it 1st and 10 at their own 24-yard line. And they are going to go end run. They're going to come out and go end run with the halfback, which is going to be J.K. Dobbins, who had a very good first half of this game, and they are looking for the run, the Steelers are, and that is a 7. End run 7 on Dobbins is only 1 yard. So 2nd and 9, they're going to go short to the split end. The Steelers are looking for the pass. That is a 9 short pass on Pittsburgh's defense, which is receiver. And they are going to the split end. And that is a 6, and that's going to be 12 yards and a first down for the Ravens. No penalties yet. It's been a clean second half so far. We'll see how long that holds up or how much it holds up. They're going to go end run with Dobbins now. Back to the run. The Steelers again looking for the run, and that is a 7 end run on their defense, which is only 1 yard. So it is 2nd and 9. They're going to go short to the split end. They're going to do the same sequence. They are looking for the pass, the Steelers are, and that is a 12 short pass on the defense for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And that's a long gainer. And that is an 8. Long gain 8 is 41 yards. So big one there. 2, 10, 20, 30, 40, and back it off 1, and they are down at the Pittsburgh 21-yard line. Nice, really nice pass there by, what happened to, okay, I guess I got everybody over here. Anyway, so yeah, nice pass by Lamar Jackson. And they will go end run with Dobbins again. I mean, the sequence seems to be working. The Pittsburgh Steelers are looking for the pass on this, and that's going to be a 5. End run 5 is on the Pittsburgh defense and a possible fumble. And it's -3 2 to 5. And it is not, but it is -2 yards. So they have a 2nd and 12. They're going to go short to the split end. Pittsburgh is looking for the pass. That is a 7 short pass. It's going to be a must run by Jackson. That's a 5, which is going to be 13 yards and a first down. And They are just cruising, and they're not making any penalties. Neither had Pittsburgh, but they went basically 3 and out. So they got a first and goal at the 10-yard line. The Ravens do, and they're going to go end run with Dobbins. I mean, they're moving the ball right down the field, right down the throat of the Pittsburgh Steelers, and they're looking for the run, and that is a 5. Again, a possible fumble. End run 5 on Pittsburgh's defense is fumble -3, 2 to 5, and he does fumble 2 to 6 or 12. He gets it back. He doesn't. So Pittsburgh takes over 2 yards further upfield on their own 12 with a first down, and that has to be a really crushing blow for the Ravens to have fumbled the ball, and they're going to go end run with their own halfback, and in this case that's going to be James Conner, and they are looking for the run, and that is an 11 end run on the Baltimore defense, which is 8 yards. And they have a 2nd and 2. They're going to go line buck with the fullback, this time Benny Snell. They are looking for the pass. That is a 4 line buck, and that's going to be 9 yards and a first down. So Pittsburgh has a first down at their own 29-yard line. They're going to go short to the split end on first down right here. They are looking for the defense is looking for the pass, and that is a 7 with a possible offensive penalty. So 7 short pass on the Baltimore D is 10 yards. Wow. But let's see if they have an offensive penalty. 7. Opponent number 4. So this would be, if at all, it is going to be something on Baltimore. 8. It was a pass. Defense. Or wait a minute. Wait. Oh, pass number 4, yeah. It was a completed pass. Personal foul 15 yards from concluding line of scrimmage. So that's going to be a combined 25-yard pickup for the Steelers. 1, 10, 20, and 4. And they have a 1st and 10 at the Ravens' 46-yard line. And they're going to go end run with Conner on first down. And they're looking for the run. And that's a 6, end run 6 on the Baltimore defense, which is 5 yards. So now the Steelers are moving the ball. They don't want to make the same mistake that the Ravens did and fumble deep down in the other end, but first they got to get down deep in the other end. They're going to do a line buck with Snell, the fullback, on this particular play. They're looking for the run. The defense is looking for the run, and that is a 10. Line buck 10 is 0 yards when they're looking for it. So they have a 3rd and 5. They're going to go flat to the tight end. And they're looking for the pass. The defense is looking for the pass, and that's a 6 flat pass on the Baltimore defense. And that's going to be a short gain. And that's an 8, which is probably going to be 14 yards. So 10, 11, 3. And now Pittsburgh has the ball. 1st and 10 at the 26 of the Ravens. And they're going to go end run with Conner. And they are looking for the pass. And that's a 2. That's going to be a long gain and a touchdown. So we have a touchdown, people. And let's see if the extra point is good. It's a 9. It is good. And so Pittsburgh gets 7 points of their own and now have 13. And it is now Pittsburgh leads 13-10, and they will kick off. And that's a 3. That's going to be a touchback. So the Ravens will have it on the 25. Again, it's probably really supposed to be the 20, but in Sportsman Z's world, everything is on the 25. So they've got a first down. They're going to go end run with the halfback. They're still in the game. There's no need to change the game plan drastically. And the Steelers are looking for the run. And that is a 9 with a possible defensive penalty. So let's see. 9 on Dobbins is -6 because they were looking for it. But let's see if there's a defensive penalty. 8. There isn't. So he loses 6. Dobbins loses 6 yards, and he's not having as good a half this time so far as he did in the first half. They're going to go short pass to the tight end Andrews on 2nd and 16. They're looking for the pass, and that is a 12 on the short pass of the Pittsburgh Steelers. And that's going to be -7. So not good. They've got a 3rd and forever now. And they're going to go short to the flanker. And they're looking for the pass. They would have anyway. 7, short pass. 7 is must run. He can pick this up, but he needs a really low roll. And that's not going to do it. He gets 0 yards on the must run. And they will punt the ball away, and so we'll stop the clock for the punt. That is a 9, which is 44 back 1. So 3, 10, 20, 30, 40, and 1. And back 1 returning, that is a 10. And that's going to be 6 yards. Not bad. They have the ball 1st and 10 at midfield. So the Steelers are going to be operating 1st and 10 at midfield. They're going to go end run with Connor on 1st down. And they're looking for the run. And that is a 10. End run 10 on the Baltimore D is -4. So they have a 2nd and 14. They're going to go short to the tight end. And they are looking for the pass, and that is an 8. Short pass 8 on their D is incomplete. So they got a 3rd and 14. They're going to go short to the split end. They are looking for the pass. That is a 5 short pass, and it's going to be 12 yards. Roethlisberger throws for 12 yards. 4, 9, 10, 11, 12. And they have a 4th and 2. And Tomlin, this deep down in the on this side of the field, he's going to go for it. Flat pass to the tight end. The Baltimore defense on 4th and 2 is 1-17. They're looking for the pass. That is an 8. Flat pass on the defense for Baltimore is receiver, and it is the tight end, and it's a 7. Tight end 7. Usually the other receivers wouldn't catch that, but no, it's the tight end that doesn't catch it. So it is incomplete, and the Ravens take over right there. And we'll see if that was a mistake on the part of Pittsburgh to be a little too aggressive. Maybe there, but we'll see. And they will go end run with Dobbins on 1st down. They are looking for the Steelers are looking for them to run. And that is an 8. End run 8. It doesn't matter. It's on the Pittsburgh defense anyway. It's 0 yards. They're going to go flat to the tight end Andrews. Pittsburgh is looking for the run. That is a 5. Flat pass 5. Not looking for it is 8 yards. And so they have a 3rd and 2 coming up. They're going to go line buck with Gus Edwards. And they are looking for the pass. And that is a 9. Line buck 9 on the Pittsburgh defense is 2 yards and a first down. So they're going to go end run with the halfback Dobbins on first down. And they are looking for the run. That is a 9, end run 9 on the Pittsburgh defense, which is 2 yards. It's 2nd and 8. They're going to go flat to their tight end Andrews, all-world tight end. And they are looking for the run. And that is a 5. Flat pass 5. Not looking for it is 8 yards. And that will be also a first down. So they have a 1st and 10 now at the Pittsburgh 38-yard line. They're going to go end run with Dobbins. And they are looking for the run. And that is a 6 end run on the Pittsburgh defense, which is 4 yards. So they are moving a little bit here. They're going to go short to the split end. And they are looking for the pass. That is a 9, short pass 9. It's 11 yards either way and will be a first down. And now they have a 1st and 10 at the 23. And we have the end of the quarter, so we will reset the clock. 15. Wait a minute, let's clear it. $15 minutes. Okay, and we're going to the 4th quarter. And the Steelers still have their 3-point lead. And we have to turn around, don't we? Yes, we do. So the Ravens are at the 23-yard line. So we'll bring them down here to this 23. And it'll be 1st and 10 for them right from there. And they're going to go end run with Dobbins. Leaning a little heavy on Dobbins this game, but it's been pretty productive for him overall. Pittsburgh's looking for the run, though, and that's a 7. End run 7 is only 1 yard because they were looking for it. 2nd and 9. They're going to go flat to the tight end, Andrews. They are looking for the pass. That is a 6 with a possible defensive penalty. And 6, looking for it is only 5 yards, but let's see if there was a penalty on Pittsburgh. That is a 9, opponent offsides. So actually the Ravens are offsides. And that's going to be a 5-yard penalty, and it will be a 2nd and 14. They're going to go end run with Dobbins. And they're looking for the pass. That's a 4 end run, which is going to be 7 yards. And now they have a... they've got like, what do they got to go here? 5, 6, 7. Yeah, they got a 3rd and 10. They're going to go short to the split end. Pittsburgh's looking for the pass. That is a 10. Short pass 10 is 12 yards and a first down. So now the Ravens have a 1st and goal from the 8. They're going to go end run this time with Gus Edwards. Pittsburgh's looking for the pass. That is a 2, and that's going to be a touchdown with a possible defensive penalty, though. Although, really, with the touchdown, unless it reverts back to Baltimore. 9. It does. It's opponent offside. So that was a costly penalty. They were offsides, and so they have a 1st and 15 from, or 1st and goal from the 13-yard line. They're going to go short to the split end. Pittsburgh is looking for the pass. That is an 8, and that's incomplete. So now they've got a 2nd and goal from the 13. They're going to go short to the tight end. Pittsburgh looking for the pass. That is a 6. Short pass 6 on the Pittsburgh defense is -8. And so now they're going to go long. They're just going to air it out to the flanker. Pittsburgh is looking for the pass. They would not be looking for anything else right here. That is a 4 long pass. And that is going to be incomplete. And so now you're talking about a field goal attempt to try to tie the game for Baltimore from the 21 with the best kicker in the world, Justin Tucker. And that's going to be 2-10 good. And he does nail it, and they do tie the game. So let me just stand these cards back up. Baltimore with the game-tying field goal will now kick off with only 11 minutes and 12 seconds left in the game. 6 on their kickoff is -1 in the end zone. Again, the Steelers will run this one out. That is a 9 on the kickoff. Run out is 21, so now they got it on the 20. 1st and 10 for Pittsburgh at their own 20-yard line. And they will go end run with the halfback. The game is tied. There's no need to, again, deviate from their original game plan. They're looking for the run, though. But that's a 10. End run 10 for Connor is 3 yards. 1, 2, 3. And he's got a second. They've got a 2nd and 7. They're going to go flat to the tight end. They're looking for the pass. That is an 11. That's going to be intercepted 2-3 or 12. It is not, but it is incomplete. And so they've got a 3rd and 7. 3rd and 7, they're going to go short to the split end. And they're looking for the pass. That is a 6 short pass on Baltimore's -9. That hurts a little bit. So now they're going to have to punt from their own 14-yard line. The Steelers will. And we will stop the clock on the kick. That is a 7. And that's going to be 47 back 1. So 1, 10, 20, 30, 40, and 5, 6. And then they're going to return. That is a 10. And that's a 6-yard return. So it's going to be 1st and 10 for the Ravens at the 45-yard line, at their own 45. And they're going to go end run with J.K. Dobbins. They're going back to that well all day. Dobbins has been a workhorse this game. They're looking for the pass. That is a 6, end run 6 on the Pittsburgh D, 4 yards. 2nd and 6, they're going to go flat to Andrews, the tight end. They are looking for the, I don't even know what they're looking for, 2nd and 6. 1 to 8, so they're looking for the run. And that is an 8, flat pass 8 on the Pittsburgh defense. And that's going to be receiver, which is the tight end, Andrews. And that's a 4, flat pass 4. Not looking for it is 15 yards. 11 and 4, and so now they've got a first down at the Pittsburgh 36-yard line. They're going to go long to the flanker right from there. And they're looking for the run. And that's going to be a 6 long pass. 6 is intercepted 2 to 7 or 12. 8, it is not intercepted, but there's a possible offensive penalty. Let's see if there is. 8. There isn't. So that's just incomplete. And so they've got a what is this? Third? Is this third down? And 11? I think it's second, and I'm going to say it's second. Or second and 10. Second and 10. They're going to go off tackle with Gus Edwards. Pittsburgh looking for the pass. That is a 2, possible offensive penalty though, but the off tackle is going to be big. It's a 31-yard run. But let's see if they have a penalty. 6. They don't. So that is a 31-yard run. That's 1, 10, 20, and 30. They've got a first down at the 5-yard line. First and goal at the 5. And they're going to go short pass to the split end on first down, and they're looking for the pass, and that is a 9 with a possible defensive penalty. 9 short pass is 11 yards, will be a touchdown unless there's a penalty and it reverts back to them, and it doesn't. There's nothing, so it is going to be a touchdown for the Ravens, who take a and they're going to try the extra point. It's not automatic, surprisingly, but they do get the extra point, and so it is 20 to 13, and they're going to kick off. That is an 8, and that's going to be to the goal line. So Pittsburgh is going to have to run it out. And that's a 9. 9 on the kickoff is 21, so it's out to the 21, first and 10 for the Steelers. Down 20 to 13. They're going to come out and go long. They're going to try to surprise the Ravens here, although really there's a very good chance they'll be looking for the pass. They aren't, though, and that is a 6 long pass on Big Ben, and that's receiver because they weren't looking for it, and that is going to be the flanker. And is that? It is Juju Smith-Schuster, and that's a 9, and that's 26 yards. 4, 10, 20, and 2, and that's a big pass by Big Ben that gets them out of the shadow of their own end of the field. They're going to go end run with Connor on second down, and they're looking for the run there, and that's an 8 end run on the Baltimore D, and that's going to be 3 yards. Second and 7, they're going to go off tackle with Benny Snell. And they're looking for the pass, and that's a 12. Off tackles, 12 is 29 yards. Benny Snell, 10, 20, and 5, and then 9 is... They are down at the Baltimore 21-yard line. Oh, yeah. I don't know why I was taking that completely off the field. So, moving the ball, moving it, and looking for that tying score. They're going to go short to the flanker on first and 10. And Baltimore is looking for the pass. That is a 9 on Roethlisberger. Big Ben is incomplete. They're going to go end run with Connor on second down. They are looking for the pass, and that is an 11 end run Connor. That's a short gain. That's going to be nice. And that's a 5, so they get 17 yards on that bad boy. And so it's going to be 1, 10, 5, 6, and they've got a first and goal at the 4. They're going to go short to the split end. Oh, there was a possible defensive penalty, though. 6, let's see, on Baltimore, there's nothing. That is nothing. So there is no penalty. First and goal at the 4. They're going to go end run with Connor. The Ravens are looking for the pass. That is a 9, end run 9 on the Baltimore D is 0 yards. And that's a possible offensive penalty. And that's a 7. Let's see, on the Pittsburgh card, opponent number 4. And that was a run. Opponent number 4. Run defense. Personal foul, 15 yards from the concluding line of scrimmage, but it would really just be half the distance and a first down. So it's going to move to the 2. And they are going to, from the 2, they're going to go line buck with Benny Snell. And they're looking for the pass. And that is a 10 line buck on the defense is fumble plus 2 to 7, 11, or 12. 10. They don't fumble and they get 2 yards, which is a touchdown. So that's going to be that. Pittsburgh ties the game with only 3:43 left. Oh, wait a minute. We got to try the extra point, and it is good. So, yes, they do tie the game. And Pittsburgh will kick off. That is an 8 on the kickoff, which is -9 in the end zone, and Baltimore's just going to take it on the 25. First and 10 for Baltimore. Really good game here. They're going to go end run with J.K. Dobbins. And, yeah, they're going to let the time start again. They're looking for the pass. That is a 6 with a possible offensive penalty. End run 6 is 4 yards, but let's see if they have a penalty. 8, I don't think they do. They don't. So 4 yards, and that's going to be 2nd and 6. They're going to go off tackle with the other running back, Gus Edwards. Pittsburgh looking for the pass. That is a 7. 7 off tackle is going to be a short gain. And that's a 9. So that is short gain 9 is 13 yards. 1, 10, 2. They've got a first and 10 at the 42. They're going to take the first of their timeouts right here prior to the 2-minute warning. And so time won't move on this. And they're going to go end run with the halfback, Dobbins. They're looking for it, though. That's a 5. That could be, if that's a fumble, possible fumble. End run 5. Fumble, -3, 2 to 5. 7, they don't fumble, but they do lose 3 yards. And on 2nd and 13, they're going to go long to the flanker. We're going to let time run again. Pittsburgh is looking for the run, and that is a 4, long pass 4 on the Pittsburgh D, and that's incomplete. And so they're going to go short to the tight end, and Pittsburgh is looking for the pass, and that is a 7 short pass, and that's going to be a must run by Lamar Jackson, and that is an 8, which is only a yard. So they only get a yard to the 40, and we're going to let the time run to the 2-minute warning where there won't be, well, they're going to kick it, and then there's which time won't run on, and then there's going to be a non-timed play. 5 on the punt is 50 yards back to. So 10, 20, 30, 40, and 50. Pittsburgh returning the punt from the 10. That is a 4. And that is 15 yards. Nice return. And so they've got a 1st and 10 at the 25. And no time will move on this play. They're going to go short to the split end because they've got their 3 timeouts and this untimed play. They're looking for the pass. That is an 11. Short pass 11 on the Baltimore D is 11 yards and a 1st down. So 1st and 10 from the 36-yard line, and they will let the clock run a little bit. They're going to go long to the flanker, Juju Smith-Schuster. They're looking for the run. That is a 10. Long pass 10 is incomplete. Or wait a minute, no, it's on the defense. It's receiver. Looking at Schuster, 8. And that's going to be incomplete. And they will call the first of their timeouts right here on, I believe they've got a 2nd and 10. I'm going to say 2nd and 10. Short to the split end. And they're looking for the run. And that is an 8 short pass. And that's going to be receiver. And that is a 9. And that is to Chase Claypool, which is going to be 16 yards. 4, 10, and 2. And now the Ravens defense now is just going to look for the pass. So if they want to run, they can run. But that's not what they're going to do. They're going to go short to Smith-Schuster. Time will run again for a little bit. That is a 5. They were looking for it, but it's 12 yards. 3, 10, and so back it off 1, and now they are at the 36. They're going to go short to the split end. They still have 2 timeouts left, and they're looking for the pass anyway. 7 is 10 yards. That's going to be huge. Now they've got a 1st and 10 at the 26-yard line, and they are going to call their 2nd timeout, and they're going to go short to the flanker, and they're looking for the pass. Short to the flanker. 7 on their defense is 10 yards. That is unbelievable. They give up another 10 yards, and now it's down to the 16-yard line, and they're going to go they're going to use their last timeout. They're going to go end run with Connor. They're looking for the pass though. Automatic offensive penalty though possible. 10 end run 10 on the Baltimore defense is -4, but let's see if they had a penalty. 10. No, they didn't, so they lost 4 yards. And now they're just let's see, what is it? 3rd down. 3rd down. They're gonna go short pass to the split end, and they're looking for the pass. It's 7, and it's 10 yards. So it's down to the 10. It's 1st and goal to 10. And they're going to just kick the field goal right here. They're going to kick the field goal from the 10. 7. I'm pretty sure that's good. Yeah, it is. So Pittsburgh adds another 3. And I think the Ravens have 1 timeout left. I want to say they have 1 timeout. 9 on the kickoff is -3 in the end zone. They're going to run it out because they have to try to get some big yards, so they have to hope for something big. 6 on the kickoff return is 26, so it'll be out to the 23. 1st and 10 for the Ravens, and they are going to they're going to call their first timeout so that time won't move on this first play, because what have we got here? 45 seconds. You know what? I'm going to let it run right now. They're going to go long to the flanker. Pittsburgh looking for the pass. That is a 6 long. It's must run. And it's 7, which is only 2 yards. And then they will call their last timeout. They get 2 yards. It's 2nd and 8. They're going to go long to the split end. Pittsburgh looking for the pass. That is a 6, possible defensive penalty. 6 long is intercepted 2 to 7 or 12. It is intercepted, but if there's a penalty on Pittsburgh, that'll negate it. That is a 9. It's opponent offsides, so they're going to refuse that, and it's an interception 27 yards down the field. 10, 25, 7, and the interception return is 9, which is 10-yard return. 2, 8, and now Pittsburgh has it for what's really going to be, well, maybe a couple plays, but all they're going to do is go line buck with Connor. And that's an 8, and we'll say 8 right, 2 yards, because nobody really cares either one. And then they're going to go line buck Connor again. We'll say that they're going to be right on the call. That's a 6, and that's going to be 0. And then that's the 3rd or 4th down. 4th down, they're going to try to kick a field goal, which probably they can't. No, they can't. But anyway, so they punted, and who cares? What was it? 6, 48 yards back, 2 into the end zone, and that is the game. That's your final score. Pittsburgh squeaking one out against Baltimore by the score of 23-20.